swear I no go lie.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode on Lola OJTV. Hope you're doing absolutely amazing. Now this video I'm going to be talking about a topic I rarely speak about, but before we do anything, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you like the video at the end, give it a thumbs up and of course share. Yeah, I don't really talk about it because I think it's such a subjective thing. I think the experience of relocating is highly subjective, and I never want to be the reason why. I never want to persuade or discourage someone from doing something. Now, some of you may know I relocated to Lagos, Nigeria about 6 years ago. Previously, I was born and of course raised in London, England. I did spend some time in Norfolk at a boarding school, and then I went to University of Hertfordshire. But the majority of the time I've spent in England was in London. But then about 6 years ago, I took a leap of faith and I moved to Lagos, Nigeria. A lot of people try and ask me questions one-on-one, and I just find it very difficult. I try and answer as sincere and as honest as I can. I don't really like talking about it because it's kind of like, if you want to do something, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. I never want to be the reason why someone does or doesn't do anything because it's so subjective. I know some people that hated the Lagos experience and moved back. I know some people that loved it. I know some people that just think different or have a different experience to me, because of course their environment might be different, the job they do might be different. So I mean, just to give you a rundown, I'm an creative entrepreneur, I'm a lawyer, and I'm a beauty enthusiast. But of course, when I moved to Lagos, for example, there was nothing like Instagram at that time. So I literally moved there for business. I had a lashes brand called Blinks Lashes, which was doing quite well. And I went to Lagos to pretty much wholesale and see how I could fit in the market. So that was my introduction into Nigeria. Of course, during that time, now as the years went on, I've become a qualified lawyer. I've done my NYSC. I've set up another business, and of course, I now am a content creator because of Instagram and YouTube, etc. But that was not why I didn't have the chance to look on Instagram and Facebook and see the Lagos life and feel enticed by it. I didn't get that because that wasn't the time in which I moved to Nigeria. So let's just go straight in to the questions that that you guys sent in. I'm gonna this is like the first time I'm reading them, and I'm gonna just answer one by one. Okay, so this is the first one. God, I'm gonna need my glasses. I know this question may shake some tables, but I want to ask your honest opinion on it. For a while, I've wanted to move to Lagos, but I believe that the lighter, pretty privilege is really real over there. And I'm not trying to shade you. Anyway, but for those who aren't light-skinned or considered the most beautiful in the world's eyes, how would you break that barrier? It's very apparent that that's who gets opportunities in Lagos and probably most of the world. But I would definitely be concerned about not making it in Lagos based off of this. I don't think it's shaking any tables, and I don't think it's shade to me. I think everywhere in the world there is a pretty or beautiful or commercially pretty or handsome privilege that I think may go for females and males. In terms of it, perhaps hindering your success in Lagos, I don't think it's accurate. There's loads of dark-skinned, non-commercially pretty females doing very well. Now, it also depends on what sector you're talking about. If you're talking about maybe the beauty industry, of course there is a commercial look, which I think it's actually probably taken more from the Western world, and we've inherited it in Africa, Nigeria, rather than us being the ones projecting it. Do I think that needs to change? Yes, but it only does change when more dark-skinned people, or if more non-commercially pretty people do use their platform to promote that. Now, I don't think in any way being lighter or pretty gives me a privilege. I feel like it can sometimes get you in the door, but it definitely will not keep you there. If you don't have anything to say, if you don't have anything to offer, you're going to just get there and you'll look good, but then that's about it. Again, I don't think this is specific to Lagos, Nigeria. So do I think anybody can make it? I think anybody can make it anywhere. If you have a plan, if you have the drive, if you're resilient, I think that you can make it anywhere if you have something to offer. The key thing being value. Now, if you're talking about the beauty industry, you may think, or it may seem that prettier people, maybe they have value in the sense that they're pretty, so they may be used more commercially. I think that goes across the world. All we can do is try and write our own narrative and show that there are all different shades of beauty, and you know, and make that commercial, especially being in Africa when there are lots of dark-skinned people in Nigeria. But do I think that you wouldn't make it because you're not pretty, whatever that means, or not light skin? I do not agree. Are there certain pretty privileges? Of course, yes. I think there are handsome privileges too. I think well-groomed men do quite well. I think, you know, well-groomed women do quite well on the face of it, but you have to understand that there has to be something you're bringing to the table. You can't just come with the pretty face. It may get you in, but it will not keep you there. So why did you decide not to practice law? I only was called to the bar at the end of 2017. So do I plan on practicing law? Hell yeah. Being a lawyer is probably one of my dream jobs, and I want to do a lot more. Like, I have a lot of dreams and aspirations. I want to do the New York bar. I mean, I want to be qualified in England, London as well, because of course it's the Commonwealth. I mean, Nigeria is a Commonwealth country, so it doesn't take too much to have to qualify as a solicitor in England as well. So it's not that I didn't practice law, I just don't think it's the right time. But in a few years, definitely I do want to practice, and I will. Okay. Ever taken didnt before? It's hard imagining you jumping bus, Sha. Have I ever taken a didnt before? No, I can't lie to you. I won't lie to you. I've not taken a didnt before. Have I taken like I've gone to Ibadan in like a bus where we like hired out like the whole row, me and my mum, because we couldn't get a car at that time. But have I taken like a commercial didnt? No, I haven't, and it's not because I'm too proud. It's just because, to be honest, I've had no reason to. How do you cope with the busy, unorganized life in Nigeria generally? Oh my goodness, I always describe Nigeria as being organized chaos. And I think that's the best way to describe it. It's so chaotic, but everything does have a system. Even though the system may be archaic, it may be flawed, it may not work well, but there is an annoying system. So how do I cope? I cope by taking a lot of deep breaths. Nigeria has the kind of frustration you cannot imagine. Like, you can wake up and generator will not be working, inverter will not be working, gate man has gone somewhere, water is gone brown, there's traffic, like just random frustrations, like with no good alternatives. You know, there's no like, you know, like for cars, for example, you have MOT and stuff in England to ensure your car is roadworthy. Nothing like that. So in Nigeria, there's just cars all over the place causing havoc. So it is a crazy place, but it's a place that you adapt to, and you get used to it. And I don't think it's a good thing to get used to chaos, to be honest. But I cope by taking lots of deep breaths. I travel a lot as well. You have to understand, I've never spent like a whole year straight in Nigeria. I think I've done like 9 months when I was in law school, maybe 7 months straight because I was studying. But I travel a lot because I think I travel. It doesn't have to be to London. I can go to Dubai, I can go to South Africa, anywhere, and it resets your brain. Then you come back and face the chaos. I think if you're just stuck in the chaos, I don't know how did you get jobs to pay your bills? My cousin just recently moved back and she's really struggling. She's a stylist. Okay, to be honest, it can be very tough. Let me just tell you, when I first moved to Lagos, just so you don't have these kind of fairy tale ideas of how it was for me, I don't know about for anybody else. When I moved, I was living in Ikoyi with my big mummy. So it's not like I moved and like I had a flat set up, car set up, job set up. No, I had a roof over my head, we thank God, because of family. And I think I went with like £60. I'm not joking. It doesn't mean, of course, I didn't have any money, but I literally didn't go with much. I didn't have any expectations. I just thought, let me go see what it's like. If I don't like it, I will come straight back. I went with my lashes. Like I said, I had an idea of wanting to. I'd done a bit of research and stuff, like you know, on blogs. Like, I literally came, and let me not lie, I think the nature of the business helped for me, because immediately I got there, and of course Blink's lashes, it was good quality. Of course, I spoke about it well. I had good product knowledge. It was easy for me to start selling my lashes in bulk. So I was wholesaling. So of course, with wholesaling, you get quite a good amount. So if I'm honest, I didn't really struggle financially at the beginning, but I was literally, it was hand to mouth. Everything I was selling, I was kind of living off of, because I didn't have like another mainstream of income, which I definitely, looking back on, I would have done differently. You have to understand and be prepared that just because you go to Nigeria, don't have this idea that you think you're going to get there and you have so much to offer that as soon as you get there you're going to be rich. It's really not like that. I mean, only now really can I be a full-time content creator or business person. I'm talking about 6 years later. I've always pretty much had a job, I'm not going to lie to you. I've actually had jobs in Nigeria, so don't let this whole thing fool you and think that you get to Nigeria and you live large and you're on the yacht. Those things are, the lifestyle is nice, definitely, but you have to work if you want to earn money. So I mean, I got in there and I just learned how to adapt. You know, I was doing branding for people, etc., and getting paid to like put, creating a brand strategy for people, because it's just something that I knew how to do. How do I pay my bills? Quite well now, by the grace of God, and we thank God for that. But it did take years to get to that level of comfort. And again, I'm not financially free where I can just do anything, but I mean, I'm stable enough whereby I can full-time focus on creating content and running my business. And I hope by God's grace it stays that way and it only gets better, you know. But I have had jobs, don't ever get twisted. There's no shame in maybe being a stylist and having to have a side hustle or something that gives you stability until your styling really picks off. A lot of people say Nigeria is 100% about who you know, not what you know. Is it true? To be honest, I think that's a bit of a myth. I think it's not even who you know in Nigeria. I think it's who knows you. I mean, it's all good knowing all the people, but if they don't know you and if your name doesn't come out in the spaces it should, I mean, what's the point of you knowing them, you know? If you can't pick up the phone and ask for advice or call them if you can't actually interact with the people you know, I don't think it's about who you know. I think it's literally about who knows you. And I do think it still is important of what you know, because there are so many people doing this whole, I know this person, I know that person. Only if you have value and you have something to offer. And I keep stressing value, because value is literally, I feel like that is the main currency. It's value. People want to know people that are valuable to them, and you want to know people that are valuable to you. So you don't want to be draining someone and always asking and taking from them. You want to have something to offer as well. Hence why I think it's important who knows you, who is fighting for you when you're not there, who thinks of you as somebody that, yeah, that person has a good business, or oh, that person will be good on this project. Like, if you like, you can know them and you can keep calling them and they don't pick your call. Like, try and be valuable. I'm not saying it's easy, but for goodness sake, it makes a huge difference, you know? So yeah, it's who you know. But once you know them, make sure they remember and know you. And I still think it's important to actually have something to offer. So I do think there is an element of what do you know, because really otherwise what separates you from somebody else? The whole point is you think you're in Nigeria because you have something to offer, right? If you don't then actually have anything to offer and you're just a blank canvas that doesn't have anything to say, people will suss you out pretty quick. Yes, you can fake it till you make it, but I just don't think that's the way to last long and have impact. There are lots money-wise, which is more fulfilling, which one provides more financial freedom? Wow, that one is a very good one. The money is different. When I was earning money in the UK, it was stable money. You know how much you're getting every month in pounds. Without a doubt, 12 a.m. you will get paid into your account, and it's in pounds. And of course, pounds is one of the strongest currencies, right? Pound sterling, shout out. Yeah, I love earning pounds, right? Which is rare now because mostly I get dollars or naira, but pounds is strong. However, I feel like in London, it can be quite limiting. Like, you work full time and you get a salary until maybe they promote you. It's very hard to like have a side hustle in London because the work is so full on and very full time, you know? So it's stable, and it might be more. Let me not lie, it might be more when you're doing like conversion rate, like pounds, it carries a lot of weight right now, but it's stable. Nigeria or Lagos is one of those places where you could be broke for like 6 months, then you can just get one deal, one contract, you can supply one place and you can get millions of naira. So I feel like Lagos money is a bit more, it's more lump sum if you're not, of course, earning a salary job. But even salary jobs in Nigeria, they're not bad. I've done lots of salary jobs. But when you convert it into pounds, I mean, I could be working in Tesco or in a bank in London with the conversion rate and be earning more than a good paying job in Nigeria. But of course, you have to think about what the money does in that environment. 500,000 a month in Nigeria is a good salary. It's a good salary, and you can do a lot with it because rent is not as expensive, food is not expensive. Whereas in the UK, you know, £16,000 a year is not that much, and you're probably going to be paying a lot of bills. So I mean, it's in proportion how much you earn into how much you spend in your environment. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I feel like you earn more lump sum, you earn more beefy money in Lagos, but in London you have more stable money, so it's easier to plan. I don't know if that helps, but that's just, again, very subjective, and also the nature of my job, I guess. As a content creator, you know, my work is quite contractual, so I might be working on a campaign for 3 months and get a lump sum of money, you know. But again, like I said, I have had a lot of salary jobs as well in Lagos, but when I do the conversion, it's just not up to how much I would be earning in pounds here or in a very like low skilled job, for example. Which do you prefer, London versus Lagos? I have a love-hate relationship with both cities. I love London and I hate it for some things as well, and I love Lagos and I hate it. So which do I prefer? I honestly don't know. People ask me this a lot and I don't know which I prefer, hence why I'm probably back and forth a lot. For now, I'm probably more used to Lagos and the Lagos environment, and I know how to maneuver, and I've built a strong base there. So I probably prefer Lagos now in this space in my life. Only because, you know, I've been there for 6 years, meaning it can't be too bad, right? Otherwise I would have left. But I love the simplicity and the functionality of London. In London, you can get anything done quite quickly. In Lagos, goodness gracious, sometimes the simplest thing can take a very long time. Again, though, in Lagos, you can create something from zero. And in London, you know, the procedures make it a bit more difficult technically, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just different. They're just very different environments. But for now, I'd probably say I prefer Lagos living, the Lagos lifestyle a bit more. But I mean, I love the stability of London. No idea. How do you know Simi in Lagos? Because I love her so much. Baby girl, I met Simi through a good friend of mine, following through Fowl's the Bad Guy. And I think I met her when they were, I don't know, I think one time when they were recording or something, Sha. But I mean, I love Simi. I mean, from the first time we met, we clicked. We had the same chemistry, same sense of humor, and I don't know, Simi is just amazing. Not only just talented, but she's got such a nice free spirit, which I absolutely love. Do you fit in easily? I think I fit in quite easily because I just like to adapt. I think one of the biggest things actually when I moved back to Nigeria was my accent. Now, people will feel like it's a good thing you have an accent, but goodness, it took a while for people to really not think that it was pretentious, for people to not think that it meant thought I was better. And I had to just let people know by my actions and how I was as a person, is when they realized, oh no, she's actually cool. Because I think at first they just thought, this one has come again. But really, it's just a flipping accent. I don't see the big deal about accents. Whether you have a French accent, Ghanaian accent, Nigerian accent, it's what you say, not how you say it. To me, anyway, that is the most important thing. I was born and raised in England. I'm going to have an English accent. There's just no other way about it, you know? There's just the same way if you're born and raised in Nigeria, you're gonna have a Nigerian accent. I don't think it's anything that we have to question. I didn't just come in for masters for 1 year and get an accent. I was born here, darling. So, I mean, for me, I did fit in quite easily because my nature is very Nigerian. I understand my people, I understand my culture, and I'm very proud of where I'm from. And so I did fit in, but my accent was the one thing that sometimes would throw people off and think, is this one forming? When they realized it was actually just me, then, you know, we were cool. Do you ever feel like running back from all this craziness? If not, why would you rather stay? Do I think about running back sometimes? Of recent, no. Probably because, you know, the money started to become a lot more attractive, and of course progress is happening. So you never want to leave somewhere where you're progressing, because you're like, if I leave too soon, I might just miss the peak, you know? But there are some times where I'm just like, this country is lawless. The mentality of the people are backward. Like, sometimes it's not even my environment, it's like things like elections, the way that, you know, jungle justice, it's the sexism, it's the tribalism, it's things like that that sometimes make you want to move. Not little things like, I can adapt to things like Jen is not working and Vert's not working, I'll get over it, right? If I have to go stay somewhere, I will. But it's things when it comes to, if I feel like people's mentality cannot change, that's when I feel like will I flourish in this environment? Because at first I just felt like, even up to today, I feel like Nigeria is a very sexist place. But I think the world is quite sexist, and of course the Western world, they've just obviously had more time to come out of it a bit more, and women are a lot more respected. I think in Nigeria, some of the things that you hear men say about women, it's just disgraceful. And some things that you can see, maybe people can see a man like beating their wife in public and not do anything about it. Who are you gonna call? There's no like 999 you'll call. Even if you go to the police station in Nigeria, they'll tell you, yeah, go back to your husband's house. Things like that, the mentality of the people make me sometimes feel like, is this an environment? Is this a place to live? You know, those are the times when I start questioning, can I live here? But it's not the little things, it's the mentality of the people. But slowly and surely, I feel like, you know, mentality is something that it takes a while to change. Even in the Western world, I mean, we had our own fight here, suffragettes, all of that. So it's not like white people were brought up with this innate feeling of everyone being equal. No, racism, sexism, everything existed everywhere. It's just that I just hope Nigeria doesn't take too long to also, you know, join the revolution, because women are brilliant, and that's why I'm so vocal. You're not going to make me feel inferior in my own country. It's not going to happen. The whole, but doesn't she just know beauty? Does she know law? Trust me, I'm very academic as well. You can do both, you know? So yeah, guys, I thank you for listening, and I hope I didn't ramble on too much. And again, if you haven't, make sure you subscribe. You can drop a comment below. I can also answer some questions that perhaps weren't sent in. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope it's helped somebody in some way. And yeah, have a good one, guys. Ciao.